I think from the Sherrone Moore point of view, you have to look at his failures as well. He failed, if these things are true, he failed his family. He failed the young men he was in charge of leading and coaching. And he also failed a community of coaches who would love to follow him to get an opportunity to coach at a historically great university like a Michigan, to be amongst the names of the Yost and the Schembechlers and the Lloyd Carrs. That was the opportunity that he had that he failed at. And we also have to think about this young lady who was a subordinate and what these accusations or what these actions will do to her for the rest of her life. And so now if you're Sherrone Moore, who was the first African-American head coach at the University of Michigan, there's also a community of coaches that would love to follow in your footsteps that will be partly judged because of your actions. He does have to own that. He does have to, at some point, acknowledge that. He has to be held accountable for that, whether these things are true and someone was after him or not. And so if you're Michigan, you're truly coming from two head coaches in a row, in Jim Harbaugh and also Sherrone Moore, that has let the university down in some way. It is not the level of excellence that we expect from that position that has a responsibility. You know, in Romans 3:23, right, it says, all have fallen short because of sin and fallen short of the glory of God. So Sherrone Moore will be and will have an opportunity to be given grace by his family, by Christ, but he won't get a Bobby Petrino rebound, right? He will be treated like Mel Tucker. He will be treated like Michael Haywood, who in 2010 was supposed to be the next head coach of the University of Pittsburgh. So I just don't think we could skip over how serious this situation is for Sherrone Moore and the decision making, this situation he put himself in. And so going forward, you can't just bring in a coach that's great at X's and O's. You need to bring in a leader of men. You need to bring in a man that these young men can look at and model certain aspects of their life afterwards. And I don't know who that is. Is it a Jed Fish from the University of Washington who turned Arizona around? I know I heard the name Brian Kelly being floated. He absolutely should not be.
Let me say this to Ryan Clark. You say a lot of dumb shit on TV. You and a couple other people, when you get on, I just turn that motherfucker off. But this is by far one of the dumbest things that you've ever said. When you said that Coach Moore has set back African-American coaches and he's a disservice to African-American coaches. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm a coach and I deal with college coaches on a daily basis. It's not a day that go by I don't deal with black college coaches. White ones too. It's not a setback. And here's what was worse about it. ESPN should be suspending your ass for saying some dumb shit like this, because if you would have said the same thing that when Petrino did it, oh, white coaches are being set back hundreds of years because of Petrino. See, what you don't understand is you're feeding into the bullshit. You have just set black coaches back because you are giving these people what they want to not hire black coaches. You are flaming the fires. So when the brother goes in and get ready to become the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, or head coach, they remember what you just said, and they use that against these black coaches, bruh. You smarter than that. Unless you just working for them. You're setting black coaches back because you're giving them this bullshit ammunition. I can name 8 white coaches that did the same shit, and you did not get on TV and said the same thing about them and their race. Bruh. You fucking black people up. And ESPN full of shit too for allowing you to sit on there and say that. Let me just say this. ESPN, the black community, we're upset that you're allowing this asshole to stand up here on this stage and talk about our community and our community coaches because he is doing us a disservice. Ryan Clark.